we've already broken loose the lug nuts while the tire was on the ground, and now we've boosted the car up with the jack. We're gonna take the tire off and we'll go from there. All right, everything you need from this project, you need the jack stands, the 2 rotors, brake pads, rubber mallet, C-clamp, jack, and a wrench set. I'm gonna put a link in the video description below for the brake pads and the calipers. They're cheapest on Amazon. That's where I get all my stuff from. So when you got the car up off the ground, make sure it's supported in 2 places. We have the jack right here on the frame, and then we have the jack stand on the frame in the front. That way nothing will ever fall down and damage the car or damage your face. So right here we have the rotor, and we have the caliper, and the brake pads that you're going to be replacing are on the inside of the caliper. And to take off the caliper, there are 2 bolts, one right here which is a 17mm, and then one on the bottom in the exact same place as this one. That's also 17. So I'm taking the caliper and I'm supporting it on a jack stand just so we don't have any weight coming off of the brake line cables. So with the calipers on this, the brake pads themselves, they just push out. So I'm just going to push them from the back. And the pad comes loose, and you do that with both sides. Alright, so now we have the brake pads out. When we put the new brake pads in, it's going to be thicker than the old brake pads because the old brake pads are worn down. So this piston right here needs to be compressed in order to make room for the new brake pads. So I'm going to take a C-clamp and do that. Alright, so this is the C-clamp. Got one end on the rear of the piston and then this part on the inside of the piston. We're just going to kind of twist this and compress it little by little all the way around the piston until it gives us enough room to put the brake pads in and enough room to slide it over the rotor once the new rotor's on. We've got the new rotor slipped into place. Got the old caliper with the new brake pads placed onto the rotor. Try not to touch the surface of the rotor or the surface of the brake pads, just keep them as clean as possible. And now we're just putting on the 17mm bolts behind the caliper on the top and the bottom, and then tighten those down, and you'll be ready to remount the wheel. Anyway, that's how you change the brake pads and rotors on a Honda Civic 1997. If this video helped you in any way, make sure to like, and don't forget to subscribe. We put up videos about every week.